Listen to for the ace.
Yeah, protecting it so it doesn't get to our back.
Hello everyone, I am Isaiah Hoffman and welcome back to another episode of Inside IUE Sports. I am your voice of the Red Wolves, Isaiah Hoffman, and today we are going to be getting into the track and field team. It should be a good one, so don't go anywhere. We're about to get into it. Let's hurdle our way over to Chris Buckler.
Thanks, Isaiah. I'm Chris Buckler, head track and field coach here at Indiana University East. Real excited to talk about our 22-23 track and field program. Starting with that, we'll talk about the throwers and the multis. Initially, those are the groups that I coach. First up is Kyler Schultz from Hagerstown, Indiana. Kyler's a sophomore with us, placed in conference meet last year, a school record holder in multiple events. Real excited to see what he does this year. Next up will be Sam Hawk. Sam is his teammate from Hagerstown. Came out as a transfer initially into the second semester. Took us a while to get him going, but once he did, really shined. Actually threw PRs over where he did in high school in his first year, even though the implements are a little bit larger than what he's used to in the high school. Other upperclassmen on the girls' side, we have Daniel Rule. She's a all-conference performer last year. Was ranked in the top 50 in the nation in the hammer throw, and has a real good shot this year, hopefully, not only to continue breaking the school record, but be a national qualifier for both indoor and outdoor. Ricky Phoenix, she is from Winchester, Indiana, transfer from Manchester University. Also another upperclassman. She'll be a senior this year. Javelin specialist, but also throws the discus and the hammer as well. And our last upperclassman on the throws is Kate Gillian. She's from National Trail in Ohio. Kate has a lot of our freshman school records. It's continuing to grow, but really where I see her growth is on the leadership side. She's really taking on a leadership with the large amount of freshmen that we were able to bring in this year with the throws group. Now with those freshmen, on the guys' side, first up is Ty Williams. Ty is from Elkhart High School up in northern Indiana. Ty was a multiple state qualifier in high school. Will come in here, competing in both the shot, the disc, the weight, probably everything but the javelin. Really excited to see where he goes in his first year transitioning from high school to college. Next up is Greg Ratz from New Palestine. Greg was a regional qualifier in high school in the shot put. Look forward to him coming in and scoring points at our conference meet, both indoor and outdoor, in the hammer, the weight, the shot. He's continuing to grow, starting to throw the shot well past where we expected him just in the first couple months of practice this fall. Dustin McCarroll from Connersville High School, just down the road. Dustin, also a regional qualifier in the discus. Will come in here, be a javelin specialist and a discus thrower. Really looking forward to seeing what he can accomplish in his first year at the program. And then our last guy on the freshman group is Lane Beard from Rushville High School. Lane come to us as a walk-on, but really excited to see the growth that he's shown just from August to now. It's really starting to pick up the weight, picking up the hammer really well. I think there are going to be some great things in store for him by the end of this year. Those are our freshman guys. Now on to our freshman girls. First up there is Izzy King. Izzy comes to us from Piqua High School in Piqua, Ohio. Both an indoor and outdoor competitor in high school. Also did tennis as well in high school. She'll come in here and compete in every event her first year. Really looking forward to seeing what she can accomplish. Maddie Ward. Maddie comes to us as a walk-on from Hagerstown, Indiana. Over 100-foot discus thrower in high school, regional qualifier. Really picking up on the weight really well right now. I think she will definitely have some bright moments this year, so definitely take a look and kind of follow Maddie a little bit. Emily Kimyar, she comes from West Creek High School. That's in Clarksville, Tennessee. Kind of one of our farther away student athletes. Threw javelin in high school. One of the reasons, obviously, we looked at her. Also did shot and disc. Suffering through a little bit of injuries right now, but still growing in the weight room and growing on the track. And then our last freshman girl is Mimi Perkins. She's from Richmond High School. Is actually a convert. She was more of a jumper in high school. She's converting into the throws. And with her height, being almost 6 foot, she really makes a difference when we get into the ring. Now on to the multis. So with the pole vault and the multis, all of our pole vaults do the multi as well. All 4 are freshmen. First up is Rex. Rex comes from us from Tippecanoe Valley. He's gonna be a 12+ foot pole vaulter. Really designed to be a multi at the college level. Has done several of the events. Will also compete in the Open 400 for us as well in the 4x4. Caleb Carter from Maryville High School, Northern Indiana. Hurdle specialist, but will compete in the multi. He's going to learn the vault this year. Really kind of hoping that he can be a great training partner for Rex, and we can continue to grow that multi program. And then the last guy on that freshman group is Bryce Koger. Bryce comes from us from Toledo, Ohio, from St. John's Jesuit. Was a pole vaulter in high school, was a long jumper. Will convert into some of the other events like the hurdles and the high jump for us this year. And the one girl on that is Brooke Setoff. Brooke comes to us from Connersville High School. She was a 10.6 pole vaulter in high school. She'll convert into the multis, spending this year learning the jumps, the hurdles, and the throws to kind of add to that, but continue to be a vault specialist. So I am going to throw this over to Coach Cam and look forward to seeing our season.
Thanks, Chris. My name is Cam Teberg, head cross country, as well as the distance and the mid-distance coach here at IU East. Really want to talk a little bit more about what we have in store from the track perspective, especially from the mids as well as going into our distance crew as well. But starting on the guys' side, very exciting for really where, again, coming off an excellent cross-country season, winning the conference and all that fun stuff, and qualifying for nationals. Again, we're going to use that momentum and go right into the distance perspective from the track side of things. But starting off the bat, we got AJ Ludwig, mid-distance runner. Again, really more of a 600-meter specialist. Last year was 4th in the 600 meters. Looking for something very similar to that this year, and honestly taking that next big step and being a podium runner here in the 600 meters. Then we have Chance as well, Chance Klipstein, excellent runner. Again, last year won the conference in the indoor 800 meters. Outdoors, and his legacy lives on when it comes to being the first distance runner to ever qualify for nationals in the 800, and then have a very good showing down at nationals in the 800. And so that group is going to be fairly strong as well. Then we have a couple of our freshmen coming in to help aid those two with Eric Gallardo-Cortez from Perry Meriden. Really more of a mid-distance focused runner as well, somebody who will really emphasize in the 800. As well as be a big part of what we're looking for moving forward. And then the final one as well is AJ Ludwig's teammate from high school, Elijah Hanna from Fairfield, Ohio. Again, another more mid-distance focused runner who's going to be more in the 6 and the 8. Is really going to where you're going to see really him thrive. And we move over to more of the mile group. So this group is going to have a little bit more emphasis on the mile, and we start with that with DeAndre Hall, originally from Shaker Heights, over in the Cleveland area, Ohio. Again, very much a strong miler. Really will be looking to be a mile specialist for us in the track perspective. True mile indoors, 1,500 meters outdoors. I'm really looking forward to having him have a really strong season, get himself on the podium. And then we also have Tegan Rodriguez from Elkhart, Indiana. Again, another very excellent miler / 800 runner, somebody who can drop down, but really somebody who's really going to be big focus on the mile, and then also drop down in that aspect as well. And then we also have Cameron Nocton, a local runner here from Centerville. Really, I think this is going to showcase his skill set a little bit more, being more of a mile specialist for us. And again, be somebody who really hones in and is somebody who's going to be able to score some points at the conference meet as well. And then our last runner in that group is Bryce Kennedy. Again, an excellent runner from Mooresville, Indiana. Somebody who will really be emphasizing that 1,600 meters, maybe bump up, but really be more of that mile guy for us, and really round out that group really well. And we move on to the next group. Again, more of the 1,600 meters to 3,000 meter runners. So they'll have a little bit higher emphasis. Mileage changes a little bit from the training perspective, but we start with our one, I should say, I would call elder statesman, but our one sophomore, Dixon Minton. Again, somebody who's been in the program for now going on year 2, and somebody who's really going to thrive, especially in the 3,000. We got to get him out of the mode of the lower end stuff and really get him started moving forward in that, coming off an excellent cross country season. We also have Richard Bauer Somebody who will really specialize in the steeplechase once we get outdoors, but really from the indoor perspective will be somebody who will really hone in on that 3,000 meters. Richard Bowers from Holgate, Ohio. It's had excellent cross-country season for us, and somebody's going to keep using that momentum, being a first-team all-conference runner in cross, and use that momentum going to the track perspective. We have Austin Wenta from Connorsville, somebody who I think will really be more emphasized on the 3,000 meters as his primary event. Really had himself a really good cross season, really made some big improvements, and looking forward to seeing how that improvement continues to go. And then we have Trevor Bowers from the Lima area in Ohio. Again, really long, really lengthy. Somebody who can use that length to his advantage, and going to be somebody who's really going to be an excellent runner from that regard and continue to improve in that 16 to 3,000 meter range. And then we have essentially the true distance runners. These are, we call it 3,000, 5,000 indoors. That translates to 5K, 10K outdoors. And this is where this crew, again, really some of these stronger runners that when it comes to really the longer distances. Of course, we start with Tucker Burris, first team all-conference runner in cross country. Was our top runner throughout the year in that regard. Going to really, the longer the distance, the better the result. With Tucker, that's really what it's kind of been. And again, somebody's going to really showcase, really his talent on the track as well. Brain Coat, Brain Coat is from the Ohio side, from Troy, Ohio. Again, runner who will really more emphasize in the 5K, and really will also have a good solid standing in the 3,000 as well. And just a runner who's, again, obviously a varsity guy from the cross perspective, and somebody who's going to really do well when we continue to drop that mileage just a little bit for those events, especially in the 5 and the 3,000. Then we also have Mylan Nocton, again, another runner from Centerville. Again, his brother is more of a miler. Mylan is much more of the traditional distance runner. Again, he's going to have a lot of fun getting to get bumped up to the 10K outdoors, but indoors we'll have a lot of fun in that 5K and really showcase his talents there, just as he did in the cross perspective. Then we also have another fairly local runner with Kyle Stanley from Rushville. Again, I think, as kind of with Tucker, the more distance, the better the result. And again, he's going to be somebody who's going to be very strong in the 10K for outdoors. And then indoors, the 5K is going to be right up his alley from an event side of things. Then we have Caden. Caden is going to, was our best steeplechaser last year, and again, he will be definitely more of a steeplechase specialist outdoors. Indoors, he's going to be that 3K, 5K guy, and really have a lot of fun in that regard, and be somebody who's going to continue to work his way up into the standings in the steeplechase here. And then Wyatt Beck, again, excellent runner, was our 4th runner at the conference meet for cross country. Again, second team all conference runner, 5K, 10K. Is going to be his calling card outdoors, indoors 3K, 5K, so really the longer distances, the better. Somebody who's able to really maintain a good, consistent pace and be very aggressive early on, and really put some other runners out of rhythm, and that's really his game. But now I do want to switch over to the ladies' side, and again, switch over to the other perspective, the ladies' side of things. And now on the ladies' side, we are much more of we have a lot of strength in our mid-distance events. And then we have, strength in the longer distance events, with not nearly as many runners focused in on the mile range or that. We have a lot of girls who are going to be very successful in those really short events, and then we have girls who are going to be successful in the longer events. We're at the bat for the 600 meter to essentially 1,000 meter group. Hannah Best, again, has a lot of foot speed, really showcased it in cross, but now we get to see her in her element, the best way to say it. She's going to be very quick, especially when we jump into the 6 indoors, and then 800, again, she's gonna have a great season. Then we have Sarah Kiwazaki, again, excellent mid-distance runner. 600 is gonna be her calling card indoors, 800 outdoors, and then also expect to start looking at a couple other relays as well. Selena Pina, again, excellent mid-distance runner. Really, again, has a lot of foot speed, a lot of quick turnover. Again, the 6 is gonna be great, the 8 is gonna be great. And then outdoors, again, the 8 and the 4 are going to be some of her stronger events for sure. Then we have Meili Young, coming off a little bit of an injury, but again, somebody I think is going to do really well in the 1,000 meters indoors, and then somebody who will also be in the 800 outdoors. So again, another girl with a lot of foot speed that's going to really help with that event group. And then, of course, we have Macy Adams. Last year was on the all-conference 4x8 team. Again, another excellent mid-distance girl who's going to be focused on the 600 to the 1,000 meters indoors, and then pop over to 800 outdoors. And again, be somebody who might even drop down and do a little bit of 4 action if we need to. Again, that group is a very strong group for us, and we're really excited to kind of see where that group goes. Then we have the group that a little bit more emphasis on the mile, in the 800 to 1600 meter group as we call it. But again, it's the girls who run the mile indoors and then drop down and run the 15 outdoors. And we start that with Abby Page. Again, Abby Page ran excellent in the mile. I think that's really her event. Ran very well at the conference setting last year. Had a huge PR and really excited to kind of continue to see that progress go in that event group. And then we also have Anastasia Johnson. And again, she is much more of a mile specialist compared to the cross perspective. Somebody who does have a lot of foot speed for a miler, and somebody who has quite a bit of pop. I think she's going to really have a lot of fun in that event group and really thrive for that perspective. And then we have the other group. So this is more of the 1600 to 3000 meter group. Now this group, again, tends to lean a little bit further on the distance side, but will have some mile aspects to them. And really this group is led by Maddie Wolf. Again, had an excellent cross-country season for herself, somebody who's really long, uses her length to her advantage quite a bit, and somebody who will continue to do really well from that regard. And now we go to more of the distance group. So this is the 3,000, 5,000 meter group. Some of these are also steeplechasers. And of course, we wouldn't start with this group without mentioning Savannah Hart as the first runner right off the group. Again, was all conference in the steeplechase last year. Was also all conference in the 5K last year as well. From the distance perspective, this is really where her skill set really thrives, is on the track perspective, especially when we get into the steeplechase outdoors and the 5,000 indoors. And then we also have Julia Aruda, again an excellent, more of a traditional 5Ker. Has actually had to drop down and do a little bit of relays for us. Don't necessarily need, again, we've had to do some relays in the past for us, but really, again, much more strong in the more of the distance events, aka 3K, 5K, outdoors, getting to the 5K and maybe possibly the 10K this year as well. And then we have our two freshmen, Savannah Westfall. Again, had an injury for cross perspective, so wasn't really able to really see that from the cross perspective, but somebody who will be strengthened and be ready to go for the indoor track season with the 3K, 5K. And then we start emphasizing getting ready to go for 5K, 10K outdoors. Somebody who will do much better when the distance gets a lot farther. And then we have Alexis Dean. Again, Alexis Dean had a great cross season for us, was consistently in our varsity top 7 group. And she's somebody who, again, best way to say it is when the pace gets longer, that's when she thrives. And I think this is going to be a great spot for her to really continue to improve individually, but then also really emphasize some extra points from that perspective. And so really that's the distance group. Again, we're really excited for kind of where we're heading in that regard when it comes to the success we've had from the cross perspective, and then translating that right over to the track. Continue to be one of the more dominant distance programs in the River States Conference. But I'm going to swing this over to Coach Phil, and he's going to talk a little bit more about the sprints and the jumps.
Thanks, Coach Cam. I'm Phil Wright. I'm an assistant coach here at IU East with the sprints and jumps group. I am looking forward to an exciting season. We've got some young athletes to work with, and we've got some returners that we're looking forward for seeing some leadership from. I'm going to start with our upper class. We've got our junior, Deja Branch. She is a long jumper and a sprinter. She's been a scorer for us at the conference meet in the past. She's got some experience in our program, good work ethic. I'm looking forward to seeing her show some leadership for us with that experience. I will go to our sophomore group now in the sprints and jumps. India Benton is our first sophomore female. She's a 200, 400 meter runner. She scored for us in the conference meet last year in the 4x400 relay. She has also scored for us in the open 4 in the past at the conference meet. Looking forward to see her develop, and hoping that she's going to give us a significant contribution at the conference level the upcoming season. Next athlete is Tiki Wallace. Tiki is primarily a hurdler for us, but she is a multifaceted athlete. I think she's going to be one of our athletes that we can put her in any event, and she might be able to make a contribution for us at the conference meet. Last year, she placed 3rd in the triple jump after learning the event about approximately a week before the event. She also scored for us in the hurdles at conference. We're looking forward to some significant development and contribution from Tiki in the upcoming season. Let's go move on to the sophomore guys. Santi Elvarasu is one of our multi-sport athletes here on campus. He is a sprints jumps combo for us athlete. He does a long jump. He also is a 200 meter runner. Santi has scored for us in the conference in the past in the long jump, and we're looking forward to seeing some contribution from him in both the sprints and in the long jump. He may even be a viable option for us in the 4x1 relay. Leandre Gale is our next athlete. He is also a combination sprints jumps athlete. Leandre does the long jump for us. He also runs the 400. I'm encouraged about his potential. I think he can be a contributor for us in the long jump as well as that 400, and may also be a viable option for us in the 4x400 relay. Tristan Thomas, another one of our multi-sport athletes here on campus. Tristan is a combination jumper, sprinter for us as well. He's a long jumper. He's also a 100-meter runner. Tristan scored for us in the conference meet last year. He went 6th place in the long jump as well as 6th place in the 100 meters. I'm encouraged about Tristan's potential, and we're looking forward to his contribution to our program the upcoming season. The rest of our athletes are freshmen. I'm going to go ahead and go through these freshmen really quickly. Mackenzie Lashley is a freshman 100-meter, 200-meter runner for us. She's actually a redshirt. She won't be competing for us this year, but we're looking forward to her recovery and her contribution to us in the 100 and the 200 when she gets back. She's actually still working with us in a supportive role. She's helping us out in some management duties this year. But we're looking forward to seeing her contribute when she's back and healthy. Next athlete is Kalia Loudon. Kalia is primarily a hurdler. I'm encouraged about some of the potential that I see from her. She's a hard worker. She ran the 100-meter hurdles and the 300-meter hurdles in high school, and I'm looking forward to seeing her develop, and we're hoping that she makes a significant contribution for us at the conference level. Our next athlete is Rihanna Stinson. Rihanna is primarily a high jumper, formidable high jumper in high school. She's got a personal best of 5'3" at the high school level. Very encouraged about seeing her progress and her contribution for us in the high jump. But I'm curious to see if she takes on one of those other jumping events and see if she can contribute for us. She's athletic, so she may be able to pick up one of those other events and contribute for us in a couple of different jumping events. Next athlete is Alex Birch. Alex is a 100, 200-meter runner, good work ethic. I'm encouraged about his potential. I think he can be a significant contributor for us in the 100 and the 200. Also may be a viable option for us in the 4x100 relay. Next athlete is Austin Stinson, also a 100, 200-meter runner. Austin also has some experience with the hurdles indoor from high school, 60-meter hurdles. And I'm interested to see if he makes a transition to outdoor hurdles. We're going to try him out and see how that plays out. But primarily his contribution is probably going to be in the 100 and the 200-meter open events, and he may be a viable option for us in the 4x100 relay. Next athlete is Dawson Perkins. Dawson is a formidable high jumper from high school. He's got a personal best of, I believe, 6'8" in the high jump at high school. He's also a 100 and 200-meter runner for us, though, so I think he's going to be able to contribute for us as a combination sprints and jumps athlete. He may also be a viable option for us in the 4x100 relay. Next athlete is Khalil Durden. Khalil is a 100, 200-meter runner. Got some very encouraging times from high school. I like his work ethic. I'm looking forward to seeing him contribute for us in the 100 and the 200. And he will probably be a viable option for us in the 4x100 relay. Norris Toussaint. Norris is another one of our combination sprints and jumps guys. He's a long jumper, but I think he can be 100-meter, 200-meter runner for us. He's got an impressive personal best of 21:10 from the high school level. Also curious to see if he can make a transition and adapt that triple jump or maybe pick up the high jump. We'll see how that goes. But I expect his contribution to primarily be in the long jump for us. Next athlete is Rashawn Barber. Rashawn is also another one of our combination sprints and jumps athletes. Rashawn is a long jumper and a 200-meter runner. He's got a personal best of over 20 feet in the long jump from high school. I think he can also contribute for us in the 200 meters. May also be a viable option for us in the 4x100 relay. Stephen Chitwood is a freshman hurdler, and he is not the tallest guy, but he's very flexible, so I think he's going to make that transition from the 39-inch hurdles at high school to the 42-inch hurdles at the college level. I expect to see some contribution from him in the 110 hurdles, as well as the 60 hurdles indoor. Our last athlete is Zach Arnold. Zach is also one of our 100, 200-meter runners. See some encouraging times from him in the high school level. Looking forward to seeing contribution from him at the 100 and the 200. And I expect to see him contribute for us in the 4x100 relay. He's on a state champion 4x100 relay at the high school level. All in all, I'm encouraged about our group. I think we've got a lot of talent and looking forward to some significant contributions, and hopefully we make some big accomplishments at the conference meet this year. With that, I'm going to go ahead and kick this back to Coach Buckler. Go Red Wolves.
Hey, thanks, Coach Wright. Real excited about, obviously, all the athletes that we just talked about. Real excited for the season that we're about to go under. We'll start our first meet December 3rd at the University of Indianapolis. Most of our field event sprinters will compete at that. Our distance runners, because they qualify for nationals, we'll be giving them a chance to kind of recover and get ready for the start of our season after the Christmas break. We talk about all the time the goals of our program. Number one is graduate with a degree. We want kids to be both academically and athletically sound coming out of here with that IU degree. The second is be a champion. For us, it's about graduating champions in the classroom and on the track. I think we've got a great group of kids this year. We're going to see some great things when we get to our conference meet, which will be the next to last weekend of February in Logan, Ohio, and then our outdoor conference meet will be at Rio Grande the last weekend of April. So I'm really excited. Hope you guys come out and support us this year, and I'm going to turn this back over to Isaiah. Thank you, and go Red Wolves.
Thank you, Chris Buckler, and make sure you guys do go out and support the track and field team this season. And if you want to get any more info on the rest of the teams here at IU East, make sure you guys go to www.iueredwolves.com. That's going to do it for me, your voice of the Red Wolves, Isaiah Hoffman, and we'll see you next time on Inside IU East Sports.
Joining First Bank was the perfect move for me and my family. I used to miss out on time with my wife and son, but now I have my nights and weekends back. First Bank puts families first and respects the work-life balance. We're ready for you.
We know this legendary institution. They have 3 goals: pain-free, quicker recovery, and shorter hospital stays. Here are your doctors of Reed Orthopedics. The eviscerator of pain, Dr. Chris Nair. Dr. James Bones Natal. The Wizard of Wall Street, Dr. Mario Lee. The talent, Dr. Joel McClure. This team, this care, this treatment. The doctors of Reed Orthopedics.